Ujurak agreed, though he wasn't sure they had much to fear in this desolate landscape. He almost felt that they were the only living creatures left in the world. By now, Toklo had reached the crest of the ridge and turned to call back to his companions. "Come on, it's easier on the other side!" Ujurak climbed quickly, his paws strengthened by the feeling that his mother was watching over them, and reached the top of the ridge just behind Lusa. The small black bear flopped down, panting.
"I thought we might be able to see land from up here," she said, "but it's just more ice."
Gazing ahead, Ujurak saw that the ridge on this side sloped down gradually to an ice plain with a broken, choppy surface like a frozen sea. The sky was covered with clouds, brightening to a milky radiance where the sun was trying to break through, and it was impossible to tell where the land ended and the sky began. "We just have to keep going," Ujurak said. As soon as Kallik arrived, shaking ice chips from her fur, they set off down the slope. "I'm so tired my paws are falling off," Toklo grumbled, patting at Ujurak's side. "And my belly thinks my throat's been clawed out." Ujurak pushed his snout into his friend's shoulder fur. "We'll stop to eat soon," he responded, trying to sound encouraging. "Kallik will hunt for us." "She is good at that now," Toklo admitted. "Hey, Kallik, what about a nice fat seal?" "Sure." Kallik raised her head, looking proud that Toklo was relying on her to provide for them. "Why don't you three rest while I go and look for a seal hole?" She paused, swinging her head around and sniffing. Ujurak guessed she was trying to sense the best place to start searching. Then she plodded off across the ice. Ujurak led the way to a twisted mass of snow that would give them some shelter against the wind that scoured the frozen plain. Lusa curled up in a hollow, wrapped one paw over her nose, and closed her eyes. Toklo crouched beside her, scanning her anxiously. "I hope she's not falling into the long sleep," he muttered. Ujurak nodded. Though Lusa had been more cheerful and active since they'd escaped from the flat faces, he couldn't help worrying just as Toklo did. "She needs to reach land. We all do." The two brown bears huddled closer to Lusa, sharing their warmth, while they waited for Kallik. "She'd better get a move on," Toklo remarked, shifting uneasily. "I'm starving." "Me too," Ujurak agreed. "I'm sick of seal, though," the big grizzly went on. "What I wouldn't give for a fresh salmon or a hare." Ujurak felt his mouth beginning to water, and his stomach rumbled at the thought. "I've heard Lusa muttering about grubs and berries in her dreams," he told his friend. "It won't be long now." Toklo's only reply was a disbelieving grunt. Ujurak couldn't help feeling optimistic. Awareness of his mother's presence tingled through him from his nose to his paws. But he didn't expect his companions to share his conviction. "They'll see," he thought. "We must be near the end of our journey." Time dragged on, and Kallik did not return. Drowsily, Ujurak let his mind drift back to the flat-face camp and to Sally, the young flat-face female who had been his friend. He remembered her dark hair and the laughter in her eyes, and the compassion she had shown when she was helping the animals who had been trapped in the oil. He remembered how shocked she had been when she'd seen him change back into a bear. "I wonder what she told the others about how Lusa and I disappeared. And will she try to find us again?" A pang of regret throbbed through Ujurak. It was weird to be missing a flat face, and he knew it was best for them not to meet again. But he did miss Sally's cheerfulness and her kindness. "I'm not a flat face. I'm a bear. Aren't I?" Not long ago he had almost lost the sense of who he really was when he had spent too long in whale shape. He didn't want to risk that ever again. "I'm a bear. And how would I explain myself to Sally if we met again? Sally, you see, I'm mostly a bear, but sometimes I'm a flat face, or a bird, or—" he muttered out loud. "Hey," Toklo prodded him in his side, bringing Ujurak fully awake again. "Are you talking to yourself?" "No, I was talking to Sally," Ujurak replied, not thinking